I got to master rank in the Shadowverse Crosscraft event. If you're going by playtime, within the first few hours that I started playing it. And I did it with this deck. This list is absolutely insane. Hozumi Portalcraft. The idea is that you generate a bunch of puppets, which are of course zero cost token followers, and you use those to combo with your Hozumi, which banishes the puppets and then pulls out these gigantic Forestcraft followers that can go face and deal damage. Since Hozumi is the only festive card in the deck, you have a reliable tutor with the new card Freya as well. Portal also has access to Kasim, Rosa, and then for neutrals, the ambitious Goblin Mage, to toss away the Forestcraft followers from your hand to make sure you're pulling them with the Hozumi. So let's get into a few games that I played on my way to Master Rank, but first make sure to like the video and subscribe. It really does help out. Here we're playing against the mirror match, going second. I generally like going second in the mirror match because you can take advantage of the Freya effect to tutor your Hozumi for one play point. In the mulligan, pretty much no matter what your matchup is, your mulligan strategy is always the same. Try to get Hozumi, barring that, try to get Freya, and then also try to get a few puppet generators as well. Ideally, the Young Threadmaster or the 2-cost bronze spell, Puppets Assemble, or whatever it's called, to put more puppets into your hand for the Hozumi combo later on. Now, there are a few variants of this list running around. I landed on the one I'm playing now out of personal preference, really. I know that some lists, here we are playing the Orcus, the Limitless, in order to have a game plan past Hozumi. And that sometimes works, but I do feel like it's a little, how should I say? It's tough juggling the puppets for Hozumi and juggling the puppets for Orcus, and sometimes I feel like it just doesn't work out. It feels like a bit too much management that you have to, like, contend with, basically. And it can be counterplayed. Like, look at this here. So on my turn 4, I'm gonna go for my Hozumi, obviously. I have 3 puppets and Freya and Hozumi in hand. But Hozumi has the effect that when you evolve Hozumi, you can transform 2 enemy followers into fairies. So what I do here is I play the Hozumi, and I get all my, you know, amazing high-stat Forestcraft followers, and I can actually prevent them from getting their puppets back. And that means that their Orcus game plan and their Hozumi game plan is now completely incompatible, right? And that essentially just wins me the game right then and there. Like, the fact that Hozumi can evolve and transform enemy followers into fairies is such an underrated part of this combo. Here's a game where the Kasim and Rosa inclusions that I've made end up being really important. So we're up against Calamity Burial, right? And their plan is to obviously invoke Magisterial Dreadnought over and over as fast as possible, using Shadowcraft Burial Rite to cheat their way into it, and I am so sad to see the turn 1 Calamity's Genesis from them, right? And I'm like, okay, my opening hand, there's no Freya, there's no Hozumi, Kasim is gonna have to carry. So we play the Puppets Assemble here, because I still am holding out hope that I'll top deck it, right? They end up just going straight for their plan here, drawing through their whole freaking deck, while Burial Riting, the guys that they want to kill here, getting their Lakandula back, which is another target for Burial Rite to invoke Dreadnought. Pretty interesting list, honestly, but, you know, here we're just taking advantage of Kasim's sheer brokenness to clear the board, and I'm like, alright, no Hozumi in hand, it's time for the Kasim sweep, basically, until I draw my Hozumi, right? I'm counting on this boy to get me through the day until I get the combo that I'm looking for. Alright, they invoke the Lakandula, my Kasim dies a horrible, gruesome death. That's okay, I top deck the Rosa, toss back the Goblin Mage, summon 2 Kasims, because somehow that's legal. Shouldn't be, honestly. We should invoke some sort of state legislation to prevent this from happening. And like I said, because Rosa and Kasim, not only do they provide so much value in you know, dealing with boards and healing you, but they also shuffle through your deck so you can find your combo pieces more consistently. They deal with the Kasims here, as they should. The war criminal that he is. And I just tempo out with Shining Valk, I believe, on this next turn. Yeah, Shining Valk here. And I'm like, okay. At this point, I've sort of given up hope that Hozumi is coming. I'm still praying for it, obviously. But she's not showing up, okay? It's a problem. So we take out the big boys on the board here. Pretty important to do so we don't die. They're already at 10 defense, by the way, which is pretty nice. The Kasim sweep strikes yet again. And I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna manual play the Dreadnought, get their health up. Please don't hit my followers. Oh, thank God. Thank you, Chaotic Doom. Pretty close one, honestly. And what really saves me here is, of course, off the top. But you see how the Kasim sort of carried us until this point was able to be gotten. And I think I actually misplay here. Oh yeah, I absolutely do misplay here. If I run the puppet in there instead of playing the fairy with the Shining Valk effect, my World Toss could have done 1 more damage, and this would have been straight up lethal. But you know, I was playing this while on the toilet, so cut me some slack, okay? So I would have had lethal there, but in the end it didn't matter. They didn't have the answer, and yeah, super consistent, like I said. And just to prove that this deck is as good going first as it is going second, here I am fighting against Imagination Dragon, which has become pretty popular today. For some reason, I fought quite a few of them on my climb earlier today. Also, we got the God Hand. Let's go. Turn 1, Threadmaster into Blossoming Flower Doll, and then we got the Hozumi in the back. The only thing that could make this hand better is Puppets Assemble, but this is still pretty good, of course, of course. I'm not complaining by any means. They orbed Cancer here. They're trying to find ramps so they can play Imagination Realize as fast as possible, right? That's the whole thing. That's pretty much the whole thing. We play the Freya. Of course, because we're not going second, we don't get the benefit of the off the top 1 cost play. And here I'm like, okay, my board is clogged. They're just gonna ramp. I'm gonna put Forged Weaponry right away and push the pressure. And this is the thing. Sometimes the opponent thinks that they can outplay Hozumi by leaving your board up so you don't have space for puppet combo. And sometimes that is true. Sometimes that is true. But then you can always just, you know, Forged Weaponry and hit them in the face. And then you're feeling pretty good. And now that they have a card on the board, the combo is off. So it's like, it feels like a checkmate. I know it's not really like a full checkmate, but it does feel like a checkmate sometimes when you do this disgusting nonsense. And you play the Hozumi, and bada bing, bada boom, turn 5, going first, just as good. Hit them in the dome. They're probably going to play Imagination Realize this turn, if I remember correctly, from when I played this game mere moments ago. Yes, they do. Luckily, they only get Dragon Oracle. I think they do get Lumiore, though. Am I wrong, or is that a different game? Okay, yeah. They do get Lumiore. They do get Lumiore. But I mean, this deck just goes so fast that they cannot deal with it. The combo is like disgustingly quick. And that's Hozumi Portal. Go play it. Bye-bye.